Hello and good morning, everyone, to our Taste of the Cargo Conference. We're delighted to have you. I'm Jean Cardona. I'm ASBA's Executive Director. And first, and of greatest importance, I'm sending out our warmest wishes and hopes that you and yours are safe and healthy. These are indeed unprecedented times. But oh, how I wish I was dusting off my dancing shoes and we were all together in sunny Miami, Florida, rather than gathering via Zoom from your office, home, or elsewhere. Our board of directors decided, and rightly so, to cancel this year's conference. And we're delighted to offer this webinar as a place marker for 2020. Today's focus is on informative fun with our What Would You Do panels. We are delighted to welcome participants from around the globe that include Canada, Mexico, Central and South America, Europe, Asia, Middle East, and of course, the USA. First, special thanks go out to today's panelists, to our conference committee, and our co-chairs, Mary Grace Collins and Malin Trilla-Kekar, and to ASBA's president, Arthur Savage. And now some helpful hints for your viewing pleasure. First, make sure that your laptop or desktop sound is turned to 100%. You'll see that your screen is split today between the presentation and the panelists. There's a vertical line, simply move it to the left if you'd like to maximize your view of the panelists. We've had a lot of chatting going on already this morning. We would like you to use the Q&A portion of the Zoom to offer any comments throughout the conference. And lastly, our two scenarios will each have an audience poll at the end. And it will pop up right in the center of your screen. You simply enter your thoughts and hit submit. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our moderator today, who is Keith Hurd from Lennon, Murphy, and Phillips, who will introduce our scenarios as well as our all-star industry panelists. Take it away, Keith.
Thank you, Jean, and good morning, everyone. Yes, Jean's right. We're not at the Eden Rock, and that's sad, but it's also good. And there's a silver lining behind every cloud. Let me just explain. You're not sunburned because you didn't spend all of yesterday out on the golf course in the hot Florida sun. And your head feels good because you're not hungover, because you weren't at the hotel bar until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with a notorious sale and purchase broker who happens to wear an earring. Unless, of course, you are sunburned or hungover, but you can't blame ASBA for those things this time around. Now, let's get down to business. We have two scenarios, and the first one is a dry cargo scenario entitled Statement of Incorrect Facts. This scenario deals with something called WWD. And before I take you through the scenario, I just want to read to you a very short, commonly accepted industry definition of WWD. Whether working day shall mean a working day or part of a working day. It could be as little as 45 minutes or an hour, during which it is, or if the vessel is still waiting for her turn, it would be possible to load or discharge the cargo, as the case may be, without interruption due to the weather. If such interruption occurs, or would have occurred if work had been in progress, the time shall be excluded from lay time, subject to certain ratio calculations that we don't have time or need to discuss today. Now, let's talk about the statement of incorrect facts. What happened here is that the vessel Happy Warrior, formerly named the Al Smith, arrives at the mouth of the Paraná River in Argentina. At the time, the load berth is occupied by another vessel that is discharging fertilizer which is delayed due to adverse weather. Our vessel, Happy Warrior, has to wait 10 days at the anchorage before she finally proceeds to berth. The statement of facts details rain times while the vessel is at anchor, as well as during her own loading operations. The charter party terms are weather working day, but the cargo to be loaded on Happy Warrior is not weather sensitive. The master, on completion of loading, refuses to sign the statement of facts as it is, and he wants to sign under protest. The terminal insists the statement of facts, which includes these rain times, must be signed as it is, or this ship is not going anywhere. It's going to stay there and face detention. Is this consequential? You bet it is, because if you exclude the weather working days, the ship owner has calculated it's due $150,000 in demurrage. But on the flip side, if you exclude the rain times, the charterer says, you, Mr. Ship Owner, owe me $12,000 in dispatch. So that's a scenario. And now we're going to see it acted out by our panelists, who are as follows. Lee Billis of NYK Bulk Ship Atlantic will play the part of the owner. Tim Wellman of Norvik Shipping USA will be the charterer. Captain Mohan Mupidi of Fleet Management Ltd will be the master, the ship's captain. Jim Papp of Transmarine Navigation is the agent. And finally, Ray Parnosky of North Harbor Shipping is the broker. Ladies and gentlemen on the panel, take it away.
Hey, Ray, it's Lee, NYK New York. How are you?
All right, Lee, how you doing today?
So far, so good. If I don't read news or think politics, I think I'll stay that way.
All right.
Listen, I have a quick question to ask you, actually a favor. Remember that ship, Happy Warrior, we loaded upriver a few months ago?
Yeah, I sure do. Yeah, what's going on?
So she was stuck at Anchorage for I think like 10 days. And I remember watching her schedule and reading captain's reports during the Anchorage time, and there was no rain delays. But I just received the demurrage from charters, and they have $12,000 of dispatch, and calculations we sent to them has about $150,000 with demurrage. I think it must be some junior operator who calculated this and made a mistake, because if I'm looking at their calculation, they have discounted even the time when she was loading during the rain. I hope it's really a mistake. Would you have a word with charters?
I certainly will. It doesn't sound right. I remember that ship was at the Anchorage for 10 days as well, so I'll make a phone call.
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks. Have a good day. Hey, Tim, this is Ray. Are you there?
Hey, Ray, what's up, man?
Good morning to you. Hey, I just had a call from the owners on this good ship, Happy Warrior. I don't know if you remember, but this ship was at the Anchorage for about maybe 10 days or so, and they're looking at your lay time calculations. They were expecting to see I would say, demurrage of about $150,000, not $12,000 of dispatch in your favor. So they're quite concerned about who did the calculation. They said they did everything right. They tendered their notice of readiness as per the charter party. The vessel, again, was at the Anchorage while it was raining. Time should count. There was nothing in the master's logs or the daily reports that showed any mention of this. The cargo was not weather sensitive. The ship actually loaded within 3 days in Rosario while it was raining, and they believe that the statement of facts had some inaccuracies, and they're just concerned on who performed this lay time calculation.
Okay, yeah, I got the owners. I actually did the calculation myself. I'm looking at the statement of facts, and I'm looking at the owners. They have not discounted any of the rain times that the master signed off on the statement of facts. So I'm just basing my figures off the statement of facts. Is what we got.
And is that who signed that statement of facts?
The master and the agent both signed off on it. There's no comments. There's nothing disputing the rain time. So that's how we're looking at it.
That's an original copy?
Yes, sir. I could send you a copy if you'd like.
That'd be great. Thank you, Tim.
You got it.
I'll give the owners a call.
Thanks.
Hey, Lee, Ray here.
Hi, Ray. How are you?
All right. You're not going to like what you're going to hear here, but the charters are saying that the master has signed off on the statement of facts that time was lost due to rain, and pretty much saying that this statement is final and binding. They want to remind us that this charter party was fixed basis weather working days, therefore time is not to count. I think the charters are trying to be a little clever here. I think they're trying to take advantage of by just working off the statement of facts. And I suggest we call the agents or the master to get some more info.
Yeah, I was hoping it's going to be easy. I've looked at the daily reports from back then and statement of facts, and there is indeed some discrepancy. Captain seems not to have any rain time whatsoever during his time at Anchorage. And charters discount almost 100% of all that time because of the terminal rain. I mean, we load Petco during the rain, and we clearly did during the 3 days loading. I don't know how it could have happened, but let me give Master a call and see if I can get some clarity from him.
That sounds great. Let me know, Lee.
In a bit. Yeah, thanks, Ray. Hey, Captain Mapiri.
Good morning, Lee. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're having a lot of bad weather today. It's rolling and pitching like crazy. So what can I do for you, Miss Lee?
Actually, you can do me a huge favor and help me out with something. Captain, remember a few months back we loaded upriver and we were waiting for a berth to be available for 10 days?
Yes. I remember that
Yeah.
stay. Yeah, please.
So now we just received the charter's lay time calculations, and they claimed that almost all the time we were there was rain and not counting any times. And I've looked back at your noon reports, daily reports while you were at Anchorage and at port, and there is very little mentioning of rain, but statement of facts has your signature on it stating that it was raining all the time. What happened, Captain?
Oh, yeah. Well, the agent came just before we were sailing, and he told me to sign this statement of facts. And I saw all this rain delays on it, so I told him that I will not sign this protest. I mean, I want to put a protest on it, but he did not agree to that, and he wanted me to just sign it clean because he said the terminal insists on it, and we cannot sail if I don't sign a clean statement of facts. This was like as if he was pointing a gun to my head, and we had the pilot on board and the tugs were alongside, and he said, if you don't sign and you will not sail, and then you have to pay for all these extra costs. So I tried to get in touch with you, but I couldn't get hold of you. And then after we sailed out, we had this piracy incident, and I got tied up with that. Of course, I didn't get tied up. Some of the crew members got tied up. But anyway, that whole thing happened after that. And, so one thing after the other, I just forgot to tell you about it. And I'm sorry about it. But this is what happened, actually. The agent sort of put a gun to my head and made me sign that statement of facts. I hope you can get out of this situation. Sorry about that, Miss Lee.
Yeah, Captain, that's, we'll deal with it. So he forced you to sign it without any allowance to mark statement of facts with the correct information from your logbooks.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he wanted me to sign it clean, and that's what we did because we just wanted to get out of there.
All right, Captain. I think we may have problem with this. Sometimes have passed, but please do me a favor. Write down on email everything we just discussed. And write a letter of protest and send it to everybody in copy. Our office, head owners, charter's broker and just explain what happened and your comments on statement of facts, sir.
Sure, Ms. Lee, I'll do that right away. I'll send you an email with all these details that you asked for.
Appreciate it, Captain. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey, Jim, it's Tim with Norvik. How you doing, man?
Hey, Tim, I'm doing fine. How are you? What's going on in Houston? You've had some big weather lately.
We have had some big weather, but now it's sunny, low 80s, and beautiful. No humidity. Can't complain, brother. How about
Excellent.
you?
Well, we're doing fine. It's springtime in Argentina, so we're all happy. How can I help you today?
Just have a little bit of back and forth with the owners on this Happy Warrior we had a little bit back. And they're trying to, there's some disputes on the rain times. Could you fill me in on what happened?
Sure, I can remember that because that was a difficult sailing in as much as the captain didn't want to sign the statement of facts. Basically, the terminal supplies the rain times and they must be entered in there, and they will not accept anything but a clean statement of facts. They supply the linesman as well, and they have a lot of leverage there, including a hefty delay of berth charge of $5,000 an hour. So pilots and tugs are standing by. The captain doesn't want to sign, and we explain the situation and tell him that I'm sorry that there's really no other option, and he reluctantly signed. And that's what happened, Jim.
Okay. So every ship that that comes alongside, it's the same procedure for everybody?
Well, it's the same procedure. I mean, this situation doesn't happen on every port call, don't get me wrong, but we've seen it happen periodically over the years.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate the clarification. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.
You too.
Thanks.
Hey, Ray, it's Lee again. How are you?
Hey, Lee, what did we find out?
All right, I'm getting a little bit pissed off here. It looks like my master was harassed. Agent told him you have to sign the statement of facts even if you disagree, or the vessel will not be able to sail, and there was a possibility of detention and tons of other charges. I mean, clearly in our books, there is no rain because at Anchorage it wasn't raining, and whatever happened in terminal, we have no way of proving, seeing, or agreeing to it, but captain had to sign it. I mean, as far as I can see, agent could have put that it was snowing in Argentina, and master would have to agree to that. We have our daily reports when he was there. Captain is writing down everything what I just told you, that he was not in agreement with statement of facts, but had no choice to sign it, and had to sign it under duress. He couldn't mark statement of facts for the same reason he wouldn't be allowed to sail. So I'm looking at this, and I'm not feeling great about the situation. I think charters will really have to step up and accept our lay time calculations, because otherwise I don't see middle ground in this. You know me, I don't have time or desire to get legal involved, but if necessary, if that's the step we have to take, we'll just have to take it. And please tell Tim to have a think about it, and tell him that I like him a lot. I just like $150,000 more.
Okay, you got it, Lee. I'm all
right.
over this. Okay.
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Take care.
Okay. Hey, Tim, Ray, are you there?
Hey, Ray, what's up, man?
I'm calling about the not so happy Warrior.
Yeah.
The owners did some investigating with their agents, the master, and in order for this ship to sail, basically the master had to sign the statement of facts and really had no alternative. So the owners are just going to basically repeat their position that this time is definitely going to be counting at the anchorage. I just don't think they should be looking at the statement of facts this accurately if the master was forced into it. This was also supported by the agent as well, and just want to get your feedback on this.
I mean, I'm looking at a signed statement of facts with no comments. We have weather working day. I see the master just sent something over with a bit more detail on it. We're going to have a look at that and discuss internally. But right now, I'm just looking at a statement of facts that says rain. So we have weather working day. That's what I'm going on.
Well, I'm just going to say that the owners are hoping that you're going to do the right thing and be a little bit more cooperative, apply some common sense. Otherwise, they're not going to be afraid of going to arbitration over this. It's a lot of money at stake.
Okay. Let me look at it a bit more, discuss internally, and I'll get back to you.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay, the battle lines have been drawn. But before we go further, let's just pause and let me thank and congratulate the panelists who I believe did an outstanding job. Let's just give them a virtual round of applause. Give it up for the panelists. Okay, now we have questions, and you're going to be asked to vote on these. If you're the ship owner, what would you do? Would you accept the statement of fact as the official document and agree to pay the charterer's claim? Would you insist that the master's report is the actual true accurate story and then try to secure some documentation corroborating what the master told the owner over the phone? Or is this issue simply too complicated? Look, the parties are $165,000 apart. We have different versions of how this went down. Maybe the owner should just throw down the gauntlet, call for arbitration. Maybe they settle along the way. And if not, let 3 commercial arbitrators decide this case. So think about the options, choose one, and please vote. I'm trying to vote. And I did. Okay. So while the rest of you are voting, as I hope you are, let me just say a few comments. I mean, a key question here is this interchange that took place when the statement of facts was presented. The master wanted to sign it with a reservation of rights under protest, and the terminal said, no way, it's this or else. The ship owner says that's duress. I'll talk about that in a minute. I would say that if I were the ship owner, I would tell my masters going forward that when you have a situation like that, just as soon as you have a chance, send an email to the office and explain what happened and explain why you take exception to what you saw and read in the statement of facts. The timing is important if you get into arbitration, and even when you're talking with the charter, because that's a contemporaneous objection to the statement of fact. Here, we're some time removed, right? Not so far that people don't remember what happened, but we're a little bit down the road, and the owner asked the master, the owner has found out from the ship owner, you know, what the master's story is, and has asked the master to put his comments and his recollections in writing. So there is an email, but if you get into arbitration, arbitrators will probably give that less weight because they'll say, well, at that point, the battle lines have been drawn. The ship owner wants his substantial demurrage, and the charterer is on the other side looking for dispatch. So you could say those facts had some influence on what the master wrote in his email to the owner. So you want this done at the time. Was it duress? Legally speaking, it's probably not duress. Duress it has to be much more severe in terms of the pressure. Now, enough for what I say. Let's see what you said. Okay, only 6% said accept the statement of facts as the official document and pay the dispatch. 66% said insist that the master's report tells the true story and try to secure corroborating documentation. And here are the smartest people of all. The 28% said this is far too complicated. Call the lawyers, send it to arbitration. Those are the ones who are near and dear to my heart. But actually, I voted with the majority. I voted for the 66%. So it's interesting to see how this played out. 66% is a nice margin, but it's not anywhere near. We had one last year. We got up in like 90%. Everybody went one way. So I think it's a good scenario. We had excellent role playing, and we thank you for your voting. Now we're going to have our next scenario, and this is liquid cargo. This is for the tanker world. Okay. I see that there are questions, but I can't deal with those now, folks. I'm just going to have to hide that screen and read this to you. So the title of the scenario is Certificate of Compliance, waiver or not. Here, a tanker discharges in New York, but the vessel's certificate of compliance has just expired by a matter of a few days. Coast Guard Station New York has granted, or does grant, a 90-day waiver. They would love to inspect the ship so they don't have to provide a waiver, but hey, we're in the middle of a pandemic and they just don't have enough people to do all the things that they're being asked and required to do at this time. So they give the waiver. While the ship is in New York, the forward-looking owner fixes her next cargo, which she will load just down the coast in Philadelphia. The agent in Philadelphia sends a routine pre-arrival message to the ship's master. The master's reply indicates details of the 90-day waiver that was issued in New York. Master's not thinking twice about this. Coast Guard gave him a waiver, everything should be fine. Just prior to the ship's arrival, Coast Guard Station Philadelphia advises the agent that a certificate of compliance inspection is going to have to be done. The waiver issued in New York was only good for that port. It has nothing to do with Philadelphia. This is Philadelphia, not New York. The waiver doesn't apply. And by the way, the next time that Philadelphia Coast Guard will have people available for an inspection, remember the pandemic applies there too. Ship's going to have to wait 2 days. Nobody likes it when a ship's waiting, unless the ship's already on demurrage and the owner's happy. Okay, so that frames the scenario, and let us introduce our tanker panel, consisting of 4. We have Jonathan Holla, the man with the beard of ExxonMobil. He is the charterer. Robin Heath of Diamond S Shipping, at the bottom of your gallery there, is the owner. Mike Ogle of Norton Lilly International is the agent. And finally, at the top, Brian Vogdes of True North Shipping is the broker. Folks, take it away.
Jonathan.
Mike, good afternoon, morning, something. I don't know. Don't ruin my day.
Yeah, listen, man, it's just another day in paradise here dealing with the government. I throw my phone through the window, except I'm working from home. My wife will kill me. But listen, we have a problem with that ship in Philly. Coast Guard Philly is claiming that they have to do a COC midterm inspection before we go and load. Now, I got to tell you, this is surprising because on the pre-arrival I sent to the master before they got to Philly, he said he received a waiver in New York for 90 days. According to the captain, there was a manpower shortage, I guess due to the COVID, whatever. But he had a 90-day waiver. That was in his pre-arrival. And then the Coast Guard said they didn't pick it up on the ENOA, the official ENOA to the Coast Guard, but they caught it. The ship was just taking pilot, and they're saying now we can't load until that COC is done. But the other problem is they have a manpower issue in Philly, and they say they're not going to be able to get to it for 2 days at best. I'm trying to get them to loosen up. I'm trying to get them to talk to New York Coast Guard. I don't understand this. I'm trying to work my way up the ladder here, but as of right now, we're not going to dock. I'm going to have to put the ship at anchor and wait until the Coast Guard comes on board and does the COCC. So
if we were able to secure a lay berth, does that help? I mean, if we get the ship closer, is it the terminal that doesn't want to do the COC, or are you straight up just saying that the Coast Guard can't get to it?
It's right now. It's the Coast Guard can't get to it. They say they don't have the manpower. They've got other COCs lined up for ships that had pre-registered for them. So as of now, like I said, I'm trying to work my way to the top. And what I'd ultimately like to do is have them honor the waiver from New York. But sure. Again, as of now, that's where we're at. And I'm going to give Robin a call, the owner, and advise him. Okay. And by the way, I haven't even talked to the terminal yet. They won't allow it alongside. That's that's standard procedure, because in case something does go wrong, they don't want to have the ship stuck there. So let me get back to you. I'm doing everything I can, and I'll be back to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Robin.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Robin, not too good this morning. Listen, our ship going to Philly has run into a little situation with the Coast Guard. The COC midterm was due it was up like 2 weeks ago, something like that. But while they were in New York, they were issued a waiver for 90 days. As we were pulling into the pilot station in Philly, I got a call from the Coast Guard saying that they have to do the COC. I explained to them that we got a waiver in New York. I actually have a copy of the document, so I've seen it. But they said they're not honoring the New York waiver. I don't get it. But as of right now, we are going to anchor and we are waiting for the Coast Guard, which may take up to 2 days, or probably is going to take 2 days, I should say, to get the men out there to get the team out there to do the COC. Yeah.
This doesn't make sense, because the Coast Guard, when they issue a COC, it's basically a federal document. It shouldn't just be a waiver for New York. It should be for all U.S. ports. Was the New York Coast Guard talking to Philadelphia, or was it just was the guy out for lunch? You missed it or something? What happened?
Well, the pre-arrival document that I got from the ship said that they had a 90-day waiver. The actual document says a 90-day waiver. It does not say 90-day waiver for New York. But Robin, I got to tell you this much: as far as being a federal document, whether it's the area director of customs or the captain of the port of the Coast Guard, even though it's federal, they always give the local hierarchy discretion. So if the captain of the port of Philadelphia wants to do this, that's it, done deal. I mean, I wish I could run to Washington and scream and yell, but I don't think it's going to do us any good. So I've got calls in. The people at the Coast Guard that I talked to are going to go up the ladder and hopefully talk to the captain of the port himself. And I'll keep you posted as to what happens.
All right, well, our guys, we've got some good contacts with the Coast Guard as well, with our technical and operation departments. Okay,
I'll take all the help I can get.
Exactly.
I'm not lowering my fee.
No, exactly. I'll talk to them, and I guess I'll get back to you. Okay?
All right, Robin.
Thank you.
Keep in touch.
Okay.
Bye.
All righty.
Hey, Brian. Holla here.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Well, this one's new for me. So, the ship that we fixed with Robin loading out of Philly, gonna need you to break out the charter party, please. The ship doesn't have a COC. She needs an interim, apparently.
Yeah, I thought you did.
Yeah, so apparently they had some kind of waiver. That's how we screened it. We screened it, with the waiver in place, with the terminal, and now apparently Philly Coast Guard's not accepting what New York Coast Guard did. Like, I don't know. Maybe there's some bad blood. He took his sister out for a date, never called her back. I don't know what the deal is, but the issue is that the waiver just doesn't. It's not being accepted here in Philly. So can you? I really hate to do this. A couple of things. We're trying to figure out what the delays are going to be. They won't let us bring the ship in. So one, I've got ops working on, can we secure a lay berth? Does that help anybody? Two, I'm going to have to put Robin on notice here. The ship doesn't have a COC, which means she doesn't have a valid NOR.
Understood.
Please let him know if there's anything I can do to help him get it done. I mean, I hate to throw him in here at the bottom of the market, but if there is something charters can do to assist, I'm happy to do it, but I have to put him on notice here for no COC. And then, maybe in the back of your mind, be checking with him just to see, does he have another ship? Is there something backing up? I don't know how much delay we're going to see of this. As of right now, it's just the 2 days till they can get to the ship. At which point I think we would be okay. I do need to load. We were tight on the lake end to begin with, but I can't I don't have a ton of room here. So anything we can do to assist, let them know that we're happy to do it. But as of right now, my position is that the ship doesn't have a valid NOR.
Okay, yeah, I know. I mean, I know he's got another boat, but that boat's up in Canada. It's going to take a while to get there. So let me,
Okay.
I'll get you a list, and yeah, I'll call Robin and get him. You know, I'll let him know.
Thanks, dude.
I'll get him on notice. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Bye. Hey, Robin, it's Brian. How are you?
Hi, Brian. I presume you've just been speaking to Jonathan, huh?
Yeah, I did. So what's going on here? We got an issue with our COC on the ship, huh?
Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me because I would have, I know, seen someone's dropped the ball somewhere because New York have issued this 90-day waiver, and as it's a COC, that should cover every U.S. port. So I'm not quite sure why Philadelphia hasn't just said, yeah, we can use this waiver. So maybe they obviously haven't spoken to each other. I'll have to talk to the agent and see if there was something that didn't happen. It makes no sense. What's Jonathan saying?
I mean, unfortunately, I'm about to send you an email here. That's why I'm giving you a buzz. He's putting you on notice. You know, he doesn't want to be responsible for the time because they didn't foresee this issue, you know, when they cleared the ship.
No.
So, hey, is there any chance you're hiding a ship like in Philly there that could cover this, or?
Well, I mean, what's the delay looking like? A couple of days, we think, right? So
Yeah.
the time, and we're sailing New York now. Anything else? I mean, we do have a ship up in Canada, but by the time with delays in Canada, she's not on the berth there yet. So, I mean, I can't see her being any quicker in Philly.
Yeah, you'd have to have a ship there. Which
that's a good 4 days down, I think, right? And we're only we're 2 days away, or even a day and a half away, or something. So that's going to be a tough one.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'm standing by. Please keep me posted. I'll shoot you this email now, and yeah, let's see.
Okay. I'm going to give the agent a call and see if he's managed to figure out anything else. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Robin.
Thanks. All right. Thank you. Yeah, Mike. It's Robin. Are you there?
Yeah, Robin, I was just about to call you.
Yeah.
Listen, I wish I had good news for you, but I don't. We went right to the top of the chain, the captain of the port in Philly. He is insisting that we accomplish the COC before we get to the dock. I can't go any higher up in the port than the captain of the port. I can't go to Washington, like I said before. We're stuck with this. And that's not the worst of the news. I called the terminal once I got this information from the Coast Guard. I called the terminal and told them that we're not going to get in there today. And you know, they asked what was going on. I told them we had a 2-day wait for the Coast Guard. They immediately told me that they're going to take in another large ship and a barge ahead of us, and that's going to take 2 days extra. So right now we're looking at a minimum 4-day delay before we get to the dock. Well, we should be able to get the COC done in 2 days, but it's going to be another 2 after that before we get to the dock. I wish I had better news for you, but that's where we stand. So I'm going to bring the ship to anchor, and I'm going to wait unless you want me to do something else. But that's
well, so this is just a Coast Guard personnel issue, right? Because of the current pandemic situation, that they haven't got enough people. Is that what they're saying?
Well, it's the Coast Guard said that they don't have the people, and to be honest, I called New York, and I spoke to the other agent. As you know, I wasn't the agent on the ship in New York, and I asked about, you know, was the waiver granted because of COVID, and he said he didn't know. I actually spoke to the master too, and he said all he knew was that it was a 90-day waiver. He wasn't sure if it was COVID or not. The document doesn't say it. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You know, whether Philly called New York Coast Guard wise, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. They've issued their verdict, and that's that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're trying to see what we can find out from our end. But in the meantime, Exxon has put us on notice, which I guess they have to. But we're going to have to put you on notice as well, because
Of course you
and
do.
because the Coast Guard in Philadelphia wasn't aware of this waiver, and I just don't understand how they can't be taking that into account. I think you also should tell Jonathan next time that if he's going to do something like this, he should probably, because you're the agent in Philly, he should probably try and see if you can. It wasn't his cargo though, because it'd be much better if you'd been an agent in New York, of course. But I guess it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I'll vote for that too.
No,
But you know,
okay.
listen, you got to do what you got to do as far as putting me on notice. But you know, I got to tell you that the information provided to me from the master and actually looking at a copy of the document, it just says a 90-day waiver. It says nothing about New York.
No.
Being, New York only. So I don't know what to do. But it is what it is. And, if anything shakes in the meantime, I'll let you know, but I'm not holding out hope.
No, okay. Well, it just seems so strange to me because it's a 90-day waiver on a COC. So it doesn't matter where it was issued or where the waiver was issued. The COC, we've had a waiver for the inspection, so it should cover Philadelphia. So we're going to have to keep hitting it from our side.
Yeah, don't ask me to figure out how the government works.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'll be sending you an email, I'm afraid, putting you on notice, which I guess you'll reject. And I guess I'm waiting for an email from Exxon putting us on notice. In the meantime, we just keep trying to do what we can.
Very good, Robin.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hey, Jonathan, how's it going?
Hey.
All right. So I spoke to Rob, and he's going to talk to the agent, see what they can do. But I did ask him if he's got another ship. He does, but it's up in Canada. It's going to be, take about 4 days to get down there, which, that's not going to be any earlier than what we have. But
okay.
Here's the other thing. I just got an email through ops from the agent. And looks like they spoke to the terminal, and the terminal has decided to take in another ship and a barge.
Oh,
now.
Come on, dude.
And that's going to push us back. It's going to add an additional 2 days. So we're talking 4-day delay in the ship now before we can get it on the berth.
How can they not figure this out? I mean, we have a lake hand here. I can't wait that long. If Robin's not the guy, then we're going to have to replace here. I don't know what to do. Make sure you're checking. I took a look at the charter party. We do have a COVID clause, but the terminal's working, the port's working, the ship hasn't been quarantined, the refinery's still running. So I don't think he's got it out here. I think we're pretty well buttoned up. I mean, man, 4 days.
Yeah, I don't.
Send me the list. Let's take a look. We gotta get on it and replace immediately. I can't wait that long. So see what we can find. Let's go.
All right, on the case.
Thanks.
Again, a great job by our panelists. We have 4 nominees here for the Academy Award in March. Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations on a job well done. Now, let's go to the questions on which we will ask you to vote. Who is responsible for this little mess? Is it the ship owner? Is COC expired? Is it the charterer? Could he have done something to remedy the situation? Isn't the agent in Philadelphia? Has he worked the Coast Guard hard enough? Or is there something else he could have done? Or throw them all under the bus. Maybe they're all responsible. You can only vote for one. Choose one option, cast your vote, and I'll have a few things to say in a minute. One of the things I liked about both of these scenarios is if there's good tension. I mean, I said after the first one, right, the battle lines are drawn. True here too. I mean, you start talking about canceling a ship and tossing it back out into the market, that's heavy duty stuff. You got to go out and find another ship. Maybe you pay more for that. Maybe you go back to the first owner and say, your fault, I canceled, I had the right to cancel. I had to pay, I'm gonna have to pay more freight on the replacement vessel. I want you to make that good. What about the New York agent? They didn't play a role in our scenario, but there are questions to ask him. Was this the first time he dealt with a Coast Guard COC waiver in New York? If it's not the first time, maybe he knew that it was port limited. And if he didn't know, maybe he should have asked, right? But people are busy and we're in difficult times. So, and hindsight's always 20/20. So we deal with the agent that we have, which is the agent in Philadelphia. You could talk about the owner and say, shouldn't he have kept better track of the COC's expiration date? Well, let's see what you said. Yes, he came down on the owner. Not as bad as last time when we had a 66% polling for one of the votes, but 60% of the people said this is the owner's fault. Almost a quarter of you, though, said throw them all under the bus. Everybody's done something wrong here to some extent. 9%, almost 1/10, would lay the blame on the charterer, and 7% say that it was the agent at fault. One of the things that occurred to me was, I heard the Philadelphia agent say he had gone to the captain of the port, and that was as high up as he could go. But if Exxon needed the ship so badly, and I think we have to believe them on that, right? And the owner is threatening, is in fear of having his charter canceled. Why didn't either somebody with the ship owner or at ExxonMobil go to Coast Guard headquarters in Washington and say, help us out? You might say, well, that's inappropriate, but things like that happen, right? If you know somebody in government and they owe you a favor, maybe you pick up the phone. On the other hand, maybe this is not a big enough deal to expend political capital by talking to someone in the government. In any event, it was an interesting scenario. Good panelists, and I thank you for your time and attention. And before I turn it back over to Jean, I just want to thank her, thank Arthur Savage, and thank ASBA for inviting me to work with you as the moderator again today. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith, and our panelists for an enlightening scenarios. And now I'd like to welcome ASBA's president, Arthur Savage, who is also president of A.R. Savage & Son, to provide some closing thoughts and remarks. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you in September of 2021.
Thanks so much, Jean, and thanks to Keith also. And welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for your active participation in the Cargo Conference webinar. I'm with Jean. I sure wish we all could have met down in sunny Miami and enjoyed the golfing and the bar together. Thanks so much to Jean and Chris and the conference committee. This was a very well conceived panel. I really enjoyed it, except for that part about the agent being possibly responsible. But they all did a great job. We had about 120 people actively engaged today, so that was a great showing. The tanker and dry panel both enacted some compelling scenarios. I want to thank all of them for their great time rehearsing this. We rehearsed on Tuesday and making sure it all came together. Despite all these disruptions with COVID, ASBA is continuing its commitment to its members. Our board met yesterday to review progress since our last meeting in June. I want to extend thanks to the ASBA team, officers, directors, committee chairs, and their committee members for continued focus on agency affairs, education, dry cargo, tanker, and membership. I also want to recognize the contributions of Soren Wolmar and the Charter Party and Documentary Committee for drafting and getting approval of updates to ASBA Gasvoy and their upcoming work to revise ASBA Tankvoy, which you may have read about in recent news releases. The Agency Affairs Committee succeeded in their efforts to secure an essential worker designation to allow them to be actively keeping the supply chain going during COVID. And I also want y'all to keep an eye out for the work that Paul Hurdle, our past president, and Robert Dillon are doing in progressing towards the development of a new brokerage tool called ASBA Deep Blue. You'll hear more about that soon. Thanks to everybody for coming today and joining. Keep well, and I look forward to seeing everyone in Miami next year. Thank you so much.